But are Republicans going to be more receptive to changes that the Democrats want to make to that plan that McConnell has introduced? Let's bring in North Dakota Republican Senator and Budget Committee member Kevin Cramer. Senator, it's good to have you on the show.
Good to be with you, Cheryl. Thank you.
We've already heard from Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer. They have their idea of how this $1 trillion rescue package should look. Are you willing to go to the table with them?
Well, we're at the table with them, Cheryl, and have been throughout the morning. The committees are back together now, the working groups, Republicans and Democrats. Clearly, it has to be bipartisan if it's going to pass. We need 60 votes in the Senate, so that's why. I think what's really special about this, though, is that we are having member-to-member negotiations, not staff to staff, not majority leader to minority leader, but member-to-member, rank-and-file members putting in their ideas that they're picking up from Main Street back home, and I think that's the recipe that America wants to see, and I think that's what can lead to a fast and efficient bill.
Well, obviously a lot of talk since we've had this oil price fight between the Saudis and OPEC and Russia. That is a lot of talk about the shale industry that may also need financial help. North Dakota, big oil state. How is that price war really having an impact where you are?
Well, it's having a huge impact. We're seeing layoffs by the hundreds, of course. We're seeing CapEx being reduced by the tens of millions, hundreds of millions of dollars from companies. And we're seeing our market share being lost to really bad actors, including a country that's supposed to be our friend. That's the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. And I'm leaning on the president pretty hard to be very aggressive in pushing back on our friend Saudi Arabia, who we spent a lot of time and money defending.
Has the president told you that he is going to intervene in this fight?
Well, he is definitely intervening in it. I think he's intervening in it more as a diplomatic matter. To me, it is more of a fight, I'll be honest. Rarely am I the bad cop, but I'm willing to be in this case because this is a country where we have 2,500 troops defending them against their enemies. We have 3 missile defense batteries in the Patriot system. There, we escort their ships. This is not how friends treat friends, and I realize the beef is really with Russia, but they cannot collude against the United States and go unanswered.
I think the Russians would like to see the U.S. Shale production sector fail, to be frank with you. Let's talk about, though, the issue of spending. Look, it's $1 trillion now. But what if it's $1 trillion that's going to be needed in April? What if it's $1 trillion in May? At what point do the fiscal hawks, which is usually the Republican Party, step in to say, we've got to reassess what we're spending here?
Well, I think when we get past this first bill, which I think will pass, we'll see exactly what it looks like, but it's probably going to be $1 trillion. It's hard to imagine it'll be much less than that. When we get beyond this, I think at that point we have to start talking about a recovery, not so much a stimulus. And I really, this isn't even a stimulus, it's really more of a bridge. But we have to gird the fundamentals. And one of the things we have to do, of course, is fix this, both the panic and the disease, and the two go hand in hand. And then I think we'll get back to good footing. But is there is there a drop dead spot where we say no more trillions can be printed? I don't know. We'll have to see, Cheryl. But the first trillion is plenty uncomfortable.
Yeah, well, certainly Stephen Mnuchin, who's talked about this and said that we can borrow at these 0 rates, and that's what they're doing, the U.S. government, that is. At the same time, these governors, that letter went out, and they're looking now for help. They want to expand Medicaid programs in several states to deal with the effects of the coronavirus. That maybe they're trying to get ahead of the game. Maybe they feel like they need the money right now. What do you say to those governors across the country that also have their hand out to the government?
Well, I think that the governors in the states are suffering from this as much as anybody, perhaps more, and they have probably better solutions. And whatever we do at the federal level ought to be delivered, for the most part, by the states. And programs like Medicaid, programs like unemployment insurance are administered and delivered by the state. So to the degree we can use that infrastructure, that's fine. And I think the federal government has some obligation to that, for sure, as long as we make it temporary, Cheryl, and it doesn't become permanent.
Temporary and targeted, I think, are the 2 key words here, Senator.
Exactly right.
Yeah, Senator Cramer.
Exactly right.
Thank you, sir. We know you're going to be working through the weekend. We are looking forward to hearing from Senate Republicans that you've got something to vote on. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.